Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mac with Craftmaster Stainless in Sacramento, California. Standing in front of our CBC show system for this year in Indianapolis. Right here is a 7-barrel direct fire 2-vessel system with an integrated HLT and CLT, also with a mash mounted grist case. This system was originally designed just to fit our 20 by 20 booth in Indianapolis this year. And then I was working with a customer in South Pasadena. They'll be opening up somewhere around, August to end of 2025. Their name's going to be Giddy Ostrich. And like I said, they're going to be in South Pasadena. So we kind of flipped the system around to fit their space and made a few modifications to work for them. But this was originally designed for the show. So starting down below, we have a UL certified cabinet where all of the electronics are housed. As you can see up top, we have a podium mounted HMI touchscreen. This system can remote log in through the internet, so you can monitor your temperatures as well as control some of the features from the Brewhouse via phone or a computer. It's great if you're at home the night before a brew day, because then you can check all your temperatures and make sure that everything is set for the next brew day. Coming across the front as well, we have the 2-stage heat exchanger, which is going to hook up not only to city water, the cold liquor tank water, but it's going to hook up to glycol as well. That's going to ensure the fastest knockout possible. So let's say, lagers are pretty popular right now. You're going to get that lager knockout done in maybe 45 minutes or less. You can see all of our pumps are mounted underneath the deck as well. Included on this system, of course, it's a show system, so we have to put on a little bit of bells and whistles and shiny things. And so we kind of have this organ-style piping that leads up to the centralized manifold, which we'll get up to the brew deck here in a second. But of course, we have the LED screen with our logo. This will eventually be replaced with Giddy Ostrich's logo down the line. They're still going through some planning processes, but we'll put that logo on there for them. Moving up the stairs onto the brew deck, we'll just start with the mash and lauter tun. That's the first unit you'll have here. We have the grain up chute down below. It's high enough for multiple styles of grain bins to get everything out. LED lighting inside so you can see everything that's going on. You have the rake and plow. The rakes can turn both ways. And then the plow goes down, of course, to grain out through the chute with minimal use of your own manual plow. This system we did hook up with the craziest hydrator you've seen on a 7-barrel system. 1, for the show. 2, it is actually pretty efficient. So your water does come in from the ultrasonic flow meter that reads not only pure RO water, but any other kind of water running through that. If you are using RO in your brewery, make sure you're using an ultrasonic meter, because mag meters cannot pick up the conductivity of RO water. Now, the nerdy stuff aside, running through into the hydrator, the water sprays up through the little cone here. It'll fan out against the sight glass as your grain's dropping down from the grist case, ensuring that all your grain is hydrating correctly, because you never want to see dust coming out of here. That's going to create dough balls. You want to make sure all the grain is hydrated correctly so that you're getting the proper efficiency. Moving across from the mash lauter tun, you do have your sample sink. So on your sample sink, you have a sight glass. This is for your Vorloff right here. You can check the color of your wort as you're recirculating your mash. You can pull samples here as well to check gravities, pHs, things like that. We have the hot and cold liquor controls that then blend together, run into the ultrasonic flow meter by IFM. Then you also have the sample tube, so I can take this, I'm gonna open up my sample port, fill it with a wort sample, and then I can open up my valves, drain valve, water valve, let that cool down so that I get perfect reading for pH as well as gravity. Next vessel is the combination kettle whirlpool. This is designed with about 25% headspace, so you don't have to worry about boilovers too much. One thing that we do feature on all of our brew houses, if asked for, is a boilover sensor or level sensor from IFM. So this detects the foam rising in the kettle and tied in with a full modulating burner from Midco International out in Illinois. This will turn down the burner intensity. We don't turn it off all the way, because what happens is when you drop all those proteins in a direct fire kettle, those proteins can drop, the flame can kick back on, then you're gonna scorch those proteins, ruining your batch. We don't turn the flame all the way off. Just turn it down to stop that foam and stop that boil over. Then it'll kick back on. You will have full control of the burner intensity through the HMI touchscreen, which we're gonna get to here in just a second. On all of our brew houses, as you can see, this glass has not been etched yet. We're going to etch this one with a logo for CBC Indianapolis. So come by and stop by the booth and see what artwork we do this year. This will also be replaced with Giddy Ostrich's logo down the line. At the edge of the platform, some people like to add some salts into their HLT and CLT. Some people just like to look in and see the quality. Depending on your hard water, if you're using an electric HLT, things like that, you could get some calcium buildup in either tank. You want to be able to monitor that and make sure you are cleaning your hot and cold liquor tanks accordingly, because those kind of deposits will damage over time. But just give us a call. We can walk you through any CIP process, as well as connect you with the companies to get those chemicals for CIP, as well as any scaling. Walking over here, the most beautiful part on this system, of course, is going to be the centralized manifold. As you can see here, everything related to the mash tun is going to be on the left side. It's weird, my mash tun's on my left hand. Everything on the kettle is going to be on the kettle side. So if I have to clean my false bottom, if I have to recirculate my mash tun through the Vorloff arm behind me, everything's right here. Now getting into the HMI PLC screen, I'm going to have to probably log in here. Oh, we're pretty good. Everything's going to be controlled through the screen. So I can click on my mash rake. I can turn it on, and now my mash rake's going to turn. I can adjust the speed and the percentage of that speed through the HMI touchscreen. This can also be controlled through your computer or your phone. Be careful if you're doing that remotely. You want to make sure there's nothing in the way of any pumps, motors, or, of course, this rake and plow. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off here. Same thing. I can then go in, set all my temperatures for my HLT and CLT. We can go in, and then we have multiple processes that are going to be semi-automated on this system. So if I go to mash in, I can set my false bottom pre-water. On a 7-barrel system, we're going to be roughly underneath 1 barrel or 31 gallons of water to clear that false bottom. You want to do that so you don't have a gap during mashing in. Then I can set the water volume of what's going to mix in with my grain. So let's say I have a 700-pound grain bill. I need, maybe 200 gallons of strike water. It's going to automatically turn the pump off when it hits that 200 gallons of strike water. I can even set the rake speed to where if it needs to mix for 5 minutes after everything's mixed into the mash tun, it can do that as well, then automatically turn off the rakes. There's different levels of automation when we come into an HMI PLC combo. Of course, we didn't go fully automated where this is going to brew the whole batch for you based off a recipe. That is available if you want to go that route. Not a lot of people do that on a 7-barrel system. We put all the bells and whistles on this for CBC, and Giddy Ostrich are the lucky ones who decided to hop on this deal. If you are looking for deals to plan out your future brewery, we plan on bringing a system to CBC every single year. So if your build-out's happening in May, June, July of any year, get in contact with us. We're usually building a system. We'd love to build one and design it for your space and then showcase it at CBC somewhere in the nation. We're going to walk back down here and we're going to go over a few other features. Let's go back around this way. Every system is hooked up with IFM sensors. So of course the mash tun is just going to have your IFM temperature sensor. We're going to move over to the kettle. It will have a low level sensor as well as a temperature sensor. The low level sensor prevents the burner from turning on if there's no liquid at that level. The hot air jacket matches where the flue exits out of your building. So imagine an imaginary line right here. You don't want to accidentally kick on that burner and damage the stainless. So we protect that for you. Same thing with the direct fire HLT, low level sensor, as well as the temperature sensor. This is a non-modulating mid-co burner, 300,000 BTU burner on 15-barrel HLTs and above, but we can set that almost all the way down to, I believe, 70,000 BTUs. Walking around, you have your overflow tubes coming off the HLT and the CLT. You have sight glasses that you can see from the brew deck if you need to. Another thing we offer on other systems is if you're doing an HMI PLC combo, is we can include pressure sensors. It'll take a pressure sensor from the bottom, sometimes from the top as well, and it's going to take that data and tell you how much liquid is in the tank. So we can actually put that into the programming for you if needed. We did top exit glycol ports out of this CLT just to make sure right here you don't have any extra piping. We're going to be butted up pretty close against the corner of their building down in South Pasadena. We can do this to any of our tanks that require glycol. That way your glycol piping isn't, you save maybe 6 inches off the wall or something, but it's just easier to kind of install this way. Plus air bubbles. I don't know if you've ever heard air bubbles trapped inside of a glycol jacket. This helps prevent air bubbles in your system. Other than that, that's everything we pretty much have on this 7-barrel system. If you'd like to inquire about a system for your brewery or you want to start planning one, give us a call at 916-750-4677. I'm extension 1. I handle a lot of the Brewhouse projects and Brewhouse design. Or you can reach out to info@craftmasterstainless.com.